Yeah. So the question was the way we chant, at least today the way we chanted it. I had to break down all the words so that the pronunciation is clear. And as I said earlier, the in Sanskrit, the words have this capacity to join themselves, and they can join loosely, or they can have a strong bond between them. Okay, let me put it that way. And so when these things happen, when we learn, what we do is we have to break those words. Otherwise it will be difficult, no? So Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha, if I say, and how many of you will be able to repeat that? So we break it down. And when we break the words, then you see that it's appearing a little different. So that's the norm. That's how it works. And so hopefully that doesn't cause much of a problem. What will that do is you will gain the pronunciation properly, and then after that you will find suddenly you are chanting everything together and without your knowledge. So that is how we teach. There's a traditional way of teaching. So then likewise the shlokas, we start the class with Shruti Smriti Purananam Ityadi. There also, so how many of you are getting used to that now? Everybody is getting used, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, please.
So if you have any difficulty, then I suggest you can just listen to that portion. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think we repeated those shlokas too, right? Sometime in a few classes ago. These days we are chanting together, but you can look up that past video and then use that as a way to practice. Good. Anything else? Any other questions?
Jaikumar ji.
Yeah, Ramesh ji, go ahead.
You beautifully narrated the Mahabharata very concise way, but I have the question: how in that time frame, Duryodhana and Dharmaraja, when they were fighting or they're gaming, it's my understanding that at the time, if you don't have the rightful possession of any property, say about 12 years, you do lose the authority to climb back. Is it true? That's why the Duryodhana, he said, you guys, you are not there 12 years or 13 years. Then you don't have any right to climb back.
Yeah, so I didn't hear of such a thing, that kind of a dialogue, because the history was very well known. Duryodhana made a promise. He made a promise. You do all these things, you come back after 13 years and you can claim your kingdom. He made a promise. So I suppose he could have very well said, wait a minute, you lost your claim on it. Look at Dharma Shastra, if you don't, etc. He could have said that. He's capable of doing all that. But I have not heard such a thing. And so I don't know what the rules were those days. And these days the rule is, especially in places like Mumbai and others, if you rent your place to somebody else, then it's as good as saying goodbye to your apartment, to your house. And so they advise that people like Surendra ji and others who live in Maharashtra can tell us stories, I suppose. But so here sometimes it looks like we form our own rules. But no, Ramesh ji, I don't recall that. At At least I have not heard. If any of you have heard, you let us know.
Guruji Narayan here, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
See, Dhritarashtra was the firstborn,
Correct.
right? So the right of the kingdom goes to Dhritarashtra.
Correct.
Duryodhana is the firstborn of Dhritarashtra.
Correct.
So he gets the right to the kingdom. So what is the right of the Pandavas to the kingdom?
Yeah, so the way it worked there is, see, that is the right. But here, an exception was made based on who is the, so remember this graduation ceremony and all is there. So, Duryodhana must have performed poorly. Okay. So he must not have invoked confidence in the people.
Okay.
Must not have invoked confidence. So nobody, that must have been the case. I have not studied that portion. And so my guess is that must have happened. So it became very obvious that Arjuna, the Pandavas, and Arjuna was the greatest, but nobody, the others are no less. That is how it must have been. That is why there is not much discussion. At least we don't hear that much discussion on that.
Swamiji,
Yeah, go ahead.
the rule was, although Dhritarashtra was the oldest, but there was another rule that a blind man cannot be the king.
Yeah, so Dhritarashtra's, that is Dhritarashtra's question. So that is addressed, and blind man cannot be the king. But his question is about Duryodhana, and the eldest son of the eldest king, kind of thing,
No, but if Dhritarashtra is not the king, then the other person, the Pandu, becomes the king, and then Yudhishthira is his eldest son. That way,
Yeah. So that is also, I think that logic also works.
which Duryodhana did not accept. That's the problem, I think.
Jai
Yeah.
Kumarji, I have one technical question. When you go to casino, Las Vegas, you bet everything or you lose everything. You accept and come back, right? When Dharmaraya, first of all, he did not have any right to bet his own brothers. Then also his Draupadi is not only his wife of all the 5 brothers. He did not have any right to bet her. In spite of that one, he bet and lost. Duryodhana rightfully claimed that his property. Why these guys we are demonizing Duryodhana, and then this is a gambling addict. This Dharmaraya, always we praise it.
So Duryodhana is given to Adharma. So there is some noise coming from Okay. So Duryodhana is a chronic schemer and liar. So that much we know. So going back even before Yudhishthira came to the throne, etc. And yes, so therefore there is that big thing about adharma, that adharma is there. So on the other hand, you've got Yudhishthira who's addicted to gambling. And yes, it appears as though he cannot just give away people, family members and things like that. But he did it. So that is his mistake. So his mistake was he did not consult Krishna. That's the first biggest mistake. Hey, this guy, I'm being invited for this game, and I know I am an addict. And if I go in there, I don't know what will happen. Krishna. So one word. So there is that message also we get from this, which is that now always keep Ishvara in one's life. Always keep Ishvara. Everything looks, even when the coast is clear, they say coast is clear. Even when the coast is clear, there is always a slip between the cup and the lip. And so this dharma is very intricate, it has to be interpreted constantly. Dharma is not absolute. And so in this case, the preference was for Duryodhana. For Yudhishthira to rule Arjuna. All these things was there. And Duryodhana was not a dharmic person. So nobody wants Duryodhana to be the king. And only in India we accept one family and one family's descendants all the time. And hopefully that will change. But so I think, Rameshji, a lot of arguments have been put forth in this area. And so I think that's the way to look at it.
Jay Kumar, can I ask you a question, please?
Yeah, Haraprasad, go ahead.
Okay. Now, this goes back to the start of the Kuru dynasty. Okay, so Kuru started this, and hence it is known as Kuru dynasty. So both Pandu and Dhritarashtra are from dynasty. You said in the beginning of the class that the Kauravas because of Kuru dynasty. Even Pandavas are part of the Kuru dynasty. So I think it is incorrect to say that only Kauravas were part of the Kuru dynasty.
Good.
Am I right?
No, good, perfect. So I think Haraprasad ji makes a good point. Technically, you both Pandavas and Dhartarashtras, maybe it's better to say Dhartarashtras and Pandavas, because that's who they are, that's who we are calling them. And both are Kauravas. So who are we to just carve out a portion and then call Duryodhanas as Kauravas? Yeah, technically that is correct. And somehow, perhaps the vasana is there for me that I've heard Kaurava. So that is what, I also said. But that's a point well taken. And so technically, Pandavas are also Kauravas. So we should find a different terminology now. At least I should find a different terminology.
Dhartarashtras, yeah.
Dhartarashtras. Good.
No, I just, thank you.
Guruji, namaskaram.
Yeah, Srividyaji, go ahead.
Yeah, I went to this Ashravidya center and bought the home study of Bhagavad Gita of Swamiji, and I bought it in Tamil because I am very much comfortable with Tamil. Is it right?
What is the question now?
No. I bought the books in Tamil, the home Veedudorum Geetopdesham in Tamil for home study. Is it okay?
Yeah. So that book has been translated into many languages, and Tamil, Kannada. Just 3 years ago, my cousin from Bangalore bought it in Kannada. So they're having a home study course there. And so, it is meant for each of us to study at home. And so, so the content is same. Content is identical. There is no difference at all. And so that is fine. So if you're comfortable with Tamil, then
I was actually I said let me ask my Guruji whether it is okay. Then if it is not, I'll return it back and get the English book. But I thought I am comfortable with Tamil because it is a home study. It is not taught in Tamil. So
correct.
Thank
That's
you.
good. That's the right thing. You did the right thing.
Okay. Thank you, Guruji.
So it's available in Hindi also, and Telugu also. Telugu Swami Tattvadananda ji did the translation, and it's not. It's going through another revision, so they are not. I think all the copies are. The next release is not yet come. I think the last time I checked last year, I didn't. I heard. I'm not. I heard that it is not ready. So now I don't know if the Telugu version is there.
Guruji, in Singapore, I'm having a little bit of trouble trying to get these books. I've not yet got a response back from the email that I sent out. However, I'm going to go to Mumbai today, and I've asked my brother to help try to get them to courier the books. But what I'm trying to say is it might be a little longer before I can get the books in my hand. Is that something that we're going to need in the next class itself?
Yeah. So are you all able to hear me?
Yeah.